Welcome. Welcome, bienvenue, come on in. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo and transformational astrology. Want to help you get your mojo back. So, well, how is everyone doing today? Come join me, say hello. And I'm just going to check these levels because they look a little high. Oopsie. And we're going to be talking about some fun stuff today. In fact, it's part 1 of part 4. Woohoo! What does it mean? Come say hello. Well, if you're new to me, then you may not know that I say that the planets in astrology don't make you do anything. And that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So it's pretty simple that astrology merely tells you what time it is. Because how could it be otherwise? So Jennifer's here. Hi. Christina's here. Sag in the house. Taurus Lindsay in the house. Oh, and you're welcome for the chart. Yes. So we are going to be talking about, in a 4-part series, today is Monday, 9/9/19, which, this is more than just astrology. This is about your intuition, about clairvoyance, about self-empowerment, and we'll talk about empathy and numerology at times. So please spread the word and let people know that I'm here Monday, Thursday, Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific until the clocks change. We in Arizona do not change our clocks. So, everybody will be going forward or backward or doing what they do. And we're just going to be sitting here watching you guys. I got my sorcerer's stone today that I'm hanging out with, and it's called Nuamite. And it's going to help ground me because we got a lot to talk about. And we are looking at where Neptune and where Sagittarius, which are now squaring each other in the heavens, and the exact will come to pass September 21st, 2019. And so the 9/9/19 of today is about, before we can start over, we need to finish up some business. And when in astrology, what that looks like is, hey, Jen's here too. In astrology, what that looks like is Neptune, the slower moving karmic planet, is in an angle called a square to Jupiter. And Jupiter represents expansion, benevolence, travel, culture, the justice, and foreign matters, higher education, spirituality as well. And Neptune, being in a square to Jupiter, represents the part of you that is doing one thing, but yet is unaware of this thing that needs to get finished before this can move forward. So the way I'm going to structure this is I'm going to talk about the fire signs today. Thursday, the earth signs. Saturday, the air signs. And then next Monday, the water signs. So we get all the elements looking at where, and the way I structured it really is once this is resolved, this gets going when this is resolved. And that's how I'm going to set it up for each of these signs. But in the elements, and today the elements in the fire sector is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So that's what I'm focused on today. So even if you're not an Aries sun sign, you might be an Aries rising sign or a Sag moon sign. So sun, rising, and moon play an important role in looking at this square between Neptune and Jupiter. And so the square itself in astrology represents its 90-degree angle and represents something that's not comfortable. Something's bothering me. It's like what's, when Do you know what it's like when a toddler is constantly, excuse me, hello, hey, hey, and they keep tapping you. You're like, what? What do you need? And that's the square. The square is looking for resolution. And so it feels like a conflict, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an external conflict. It could just be you're up in the middle of the night. I don't know what this feeling is. I've been feeling it for a while now. And rightly so, because this square between Neptune, a karmic planet, and Jupiter, the planet that represents expansion, is making its third pass. So January 2019. Then again in June 2019. And now September, we're leading up to it. And we're feeling it. We're already feeling it. So if you have a fire, sun, rising, or moon, this applies to you. So that's why I segregated this into quadrants of elements, the fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, does that make sense? Hey, if you're just joining us, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Transformational Astrology, and we are talking about Jupiter squaring Neptune right now in the heavens and what it looks like in your chart. So we're going to start with Aries. And don't feel left out, because if you have a rising sign or a moon sign that is Aries, Sag, or Leo, listen up, okay? Hey, Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer's an 8-8. Just did the Lion's Gate. Now we're going to do the square. A little infusion of the universe right now. Okay, so everyone just taking a nice deep breath. We are going to open up the channel. Oh, and by the way, I want to thank, I write them down on little pieces of paper. I should really keep it in one notebook. But I want to thank Hong Kong for joining us as well, Kentucky, Indiana, and New Jersey. I think I mentioned some of these before. I can't remember. And also California. California, I'm coming home to you. Okay. That was a little tribute to Joni Mitchell. So now, here we go with Aries and the square between Neptune and Jupiter. And again, if you're just joining us, the way I'm setting it up is, whether you are an Aries, Sag, or Leo, sun, rising, or moon, this will apply to you, so pay attention. Okay, now, for Aries, 9, meaning the house, so you want to look at your charts, and I'm talking about the houses when I mention these numbers. So 9, high-end contracts, travel, really mutual support in business, gets going when 12, house 12, makes peace. Now, 9, Aries, for you, deals with, and this is Aries rising as well, deals with that feeling of accomplishment and really putting your thing out there. So maybe you're editing a book. Maybe you're working in a different country, working on a different language. And the language doesn't have to be a European language. It can be the language of math or any studies that you are involved in right now. It could be a metaphysical language because Neptune is involved, right? So with Jupiter in the 9th house for you, Aries, Aries rising, transiting, this is all about you gaining footing, like a stronghold in a project that might really have to do with travel and or cultural affairs and or shoring up those resources by way of industries or people or clientele, right? And that's really exciting. And I know of an Aries rising who is working on writing groups and going to Europe with them. So that's how it can apply. Now, if you are in any kind of litigation for whatever reason, this is a time frame also through September. This information is all through September. Is about you making peace with the fears that brought on this whole scenario. So Aries rising, when 9, the house 9, contracts, foreign affairs, legal information, and business support and travel gets going, really gets going when you start to focus on house 12, which is facing your fears and making peace. What is the thing that set this up? The karma between you and the group. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be you've promised your clientele that you're going to give them a certain thing and you haven't delivered yet. Why? What's the fear behind the whole thing? Maybe you are in litigation. Maybe you're getting divorced. Maybe you're looking at changing contracts in midstream, and you've got to make peace with. It's not just the subject matter; it's the whole psyche that we're making peace with. Yeah, nothing small for you, Aries rising, and it's understanding that you have the right to be you on this earth. And because house 9 is involved, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need credentials. If you've got street cred and you know what you're talking about and you can talk on that subject for hours, you earned the right to claim authority in that position. Okay, so think about that, Aries rising, because when you start to meditate more and make peace with this situation and or with moving forward in life, because the trajectory is it's like the whole, I'm going to take off, Aries rising says, with this contract, the travel, with resolving this issue, with another language, with spirituality, with meditating more, with higher education. But, there's an unconscious fear. So you want to meditate more and bring that up, because Neptune represents an unfinished business in your life for everyone. And for you, it is about making peace. Where is it that you are disconnected from spirit? Where are you disconnected from this feeling of obligation? Or you have too much obligation and you need to let that go. Or you think, I don't know enough, I have to keep studying because I don't know enough and it's not valid for me and I might cause harm. So this takes a little bit of digging and meditating and then being present. All right. So that's Aries rising. Now, if you're just joining us, what we're talking about here is the square between Neptune and Jupiter in a transit. So if you're looking at your chart, you may have Neptune in the 5th house, but the transit may be in the 7th house. And that's what I'm focused on, because where you have unfinished business, this is what's showing up this month, specifically around the week of September 21st. And this is the third pass. January 2019, June was the second time this square really became intense within 4 degrees. And so what I'm doing is I'm segregating these shows into four parts. Today we're talking about fire signs and this square. So that would be Aries, Sag, Leo. And if you have an Aries sun, rising, or moon, or a Sag sun, rising, or moon, or a Leo sun, rising, or moon, this information really applies. So now we're going to be talking about Sagittarius. So who's here? Who else showed? Jesse's here. Hi, Laura Lee. And Sue Ann, welcome. Okay, so Sagittarius. When that is your first house, because Jupiter is in Sag right now and has been for the past year, and it leaves on December 4th. So you want to make the best use of your time right now, Sag rising sign especially. Your independence, you can actually claim authority when the core of number 4, house 4, is resolved. Now, this goes way back. It's not just, hey, Elaine, I'm a Sag rising and we're building a house. So what you're saying is when I'm finished building the house, then I can go and do my thing? Maybe. It's not just about the project at hand. It goes deeper. House 4 deals with the feminine parent. and or addiction and or religious friction. Okay, so if you grew up, Sag rising, in a household that was very religious and it didn't meet your needs, you need to deal with that now before you can move forward with your independent world. If there's any kind of addiction issue going on in your home, and that can mean, addiction basically is the terror of feeling safe in your body. So people are addicted to chemicals, alcohol, sex, nicotine, sugar, work. There's all gambling. There's all kinds of addictions, but the core of addiction comes from not feeling safe. So you may not be someone who's dealing with addiction, Sag rising, Sag moon. But perhaps you're looking at how you were raised. Maybe you have a really happy home life right now, and whether you're single or married or partnered up is irrelevant. But if you can't seem to get forward with feeling more independent, with really expressing yourself, especially if you're writing or you want to travel more or you're being held back, that part that's holding you back, we want to take a look at your childhood and look at the feminine parent. And you and the feminine parent are in a little bit of conflict. And this person, and this is not about blame. This can mean, well, when I was a kid, my mom went through a rough time. She was in a car accident. This was one of my clients. She was in a car accident, and then from there, she was always in pain, so she had to take a lot of medication, but she was there for me as much as she could be, but she really wasn't there for me because she was healing, and it wasn't her fault. And so this Sag client of mine grew up in a household with an addicted parent through circumstance. And so when they were going through something, they couldn't really share with mom because mom was out of it. And so now what they've done is they went through, and they are in their 60s, but throughout the time that we worked together, they attracted to them different partners that kind of got lost in the partnership and never really rooted, and there was trouble. So when you're looking at this angle, Sag rising especially, or a combination of Aries with Sag, I want you to look at and do some writing because Jupiter's involved. So this is for everyone. Wherever you have an issue, just start journaling. When I was 4, Dad left and I got scared and he didn't come back for a week. I didn't know it was a business trip, and I, was sick and he wasn't there, so whatever. So as you start to write about these things, you start to become clearer. Remember, we're moving toward September 21st. Does this make sense? Thumbs up. How is this going for everyone? Carlene is here. Francis is here. Kathy is here. Always recovering. So is that dealing with the 4th house? Absolutely, with Sag right now. So if you're just joining us, we're talking in the first part of a 4-part series where I'm talking about the importance of Jupiter in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in the heavens right now. And this is the 3rd and final pass where the door, like karma has been knocking on your door and it's saying, are you ready to let this thing go? Are you ready to resolve? Do you want to move forward with this thing? But before you can do that, you got to let go of that thing. So right now we're just in this segment, we're just talking about fire signs. So now if your sun or rising sign is a fire sign, even your moon sign, but more primarily your sun or rising sign are fire signs, this is very relevant to your trajectory in life. Okay, so Sag, remember, when you start dealing with the home life that you had as a child, your own self-worth, and your feminine parent, because this is the unresolved karma, whether it deals with addiction, spirituality, or, you could have grown up in a place where, mom meditated all the time. Don't worry, I'm so zenned out. What do you need, honey? And you felt like a freak. Or it was a wonderful thing. Maybe it was a positive thing, but right now you have so much of mom's information that you don't know what's yours. This is about you moving forward with your independence, Sag rising. So if you are attached to something in the home right now that is blocking your growth, this is what we're looking at. I want you to write about it. And I want you to detail, this is what happened when I was younger, and start to connect the dots. And that's going to help you. And remember, there's no start or stop on a dime on anything in this universe. Hey, Leah's here too, and Kathleen. So you want to think about what you can do to get present, because as Neptune represents karma, and karma is not good or bad, but it does represent unfinished business on this earth, in this body. So let's start finishing up some of this business so that you can move forward. And that's for everyone. Okay, Leo. And please tell me if you know your sun or rising sign, just let me know what that is. And then we're going to be talking on Thursday about all the earth signs, earth, sun, and rising sign. And then on Saturday, we're going to be talking about the air signs, air, sun, and air rising. And then next Monday, we're talking about the water signs, so that all the signs will get covered in this 4-part series of Neptune squaring Jupiter, and how it can really help to redirect you when you finish some of that unfinished business, right? And then you can move forward. Okay, so Leo. And the way I'm looking at this is as if it were transiting in a chart. So if you were born with Neptune in the 11th house, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where Neptune is transiting now for Leo rising. And so Leo 5 gets going, really, and that's the creative process. That's anything dealing with children, and even if they're adult children, or grandchildren, and romance, parenting, fostering those, creative urges. That gets going only when, because that's where Jupiter is right now, when 8, which is the house that deals with sex, death, and taxes, insurance, struggles, estate planning, self-worth, and partnerships, when that no longer struggles, then it's like saying, when you're ready to deal with the joint resources. Maybe your focus right now is, I don't have insurance. How am I need peace of mind. Or, I have an elder parent and they're getting up there and I need to be there and I got to check out their estate planning. If it's not for your family, then it can be for an elder. So you might be looking at, I really want to get going on this book that I'm writing, or on, raising my children or my grandchildren, or being the teacher, or doing this thing over here, or just having romance with my spouse or my lover. I want to be more involved in that, but there's something that's stopping me. And I need to let something go. And if you were ever abused in any way, to move forward with raising children in a healthy way, or grandchildren, to move forward with your own romantic life, you're going to have to deal with the fear and the terror of any type of invalidation or boundaries that were crossed to your person, to your psyche, even if you were absolutely okay and intact. I had a client once who we were doing a meditation retreat, and she had trouble meditating. And I said, okay, so what happens when you close your eyes? And this took a while, and half an hour later, she's sobbing in the room, saying how when she was 11 years old, her house was robbed and she was tied up in the closet. And, that came out of nowhere. And she had forgotten all about it. She was 32 years old. And she said, I put it out of my mind. And then it came out in this meditation class that I was teaching. And I was like, oh, wow, you really need to get to a counselor and work this through. But we can do a little bit now. So if you were ever invalidated, if anyone ever betrayed your trust, Leo rising, if you're dealing with an elder parent who is passing away and there is unresolved stuff between you and this person, your parenting, your direction for parenting, or your romantic life is going to get stalled. And it's going to look like, oh, your partner is too tired a lot. Or your partner starts to sound like that parent that is leaving the earth. Okay, does that make sense? So as you start moving toward the thing that you want to be doing. Oh, I want to do some arts and crafts, or I want to take up, origami, I want to do something creative. I want to go take a singing lesson, whatever it is. The fear that's stopping you is joint resources. So whether you're focused on finances, your own or the elder parents, or it can mean that your spouse, your significant other, or your business partner is going through a rough time and they need your help more. So you have to take the emphasis off of your creative pursuits and your individual risk taking. And I don't mean gambling, although, life is a gamble, right? So if you're moving forward on something and you can't seem to get going, it's really important now to pay attention to joint resources. And I want you to go over your budgets and really look at, is it you that has to do all the work? Are you doing everything for your spouse, your kids, the grandkids, for your parents? Wow. Well, let's create a healthy boundary around that, right? Let's just look at what that picture is for you. If you're not allowed to go do your own thing in a creative aspect, or you're a parent and you're a new parent and you can't catch a break, it's about learning to ask for help from, joint resources means not just a joint ventureship with another business or an industry, but you got to learn how to ask for help and then accept it, right? Doesn't that make sense? So is this making sense? Does this help? I want to really give you these foundations so that you can work with this energy, because we're coming to the actual door of the Jupiter square Neptune to the exact degree. I believe it's going to be 17 degrees on September 21st. Today is 9/9/19. So endings are going to come up in your face, in your thoughts, in your awareness, in your surroundings. People around you are going to say, I don't know if I can get this done. And then you're going to be you and start, fire signs I'm talking about specifically are going to say, well, here's a solution. And then the next thing you know, you're doing the job. Like you're doing all the work. And that's fire, sun, or fire rising especially. Fire moon, yes, but not as much. If Jupiter is on your moon, if you have a Sagittarius moon, a Leo moon, or an Aries moon, you're going to feel it more spontaneously. I got to change the way I speak. I have to change the way I express because apparently I'm not getting my thing across. Or I'm so optimistic, but really I'm scared deep down. So it's a more immediate sensation. I have a Leo moon and I'm looking around going, I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning. What is this square about for me? And let's see, who's here? September 10th is my birthday. What does that mean? It means you're a Virgo. And there's a Virgo lineup. And for a Virgo lineup, it means go to my YouTube channel, which I will post here in a second, and watch the rest of my videos that I just did and all the shows that I just did on the Virgo lineup and how it can help you. So I will put this down here to share the love. Kathy, thank you for joining us. You're new to this. You can go to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell, and then that will notify you when I upload more stuff. You can also get your astrology chart complimentary, and along with it, a video I made just for your sun sign. So I will be back. I'm going to wrap up in a second, but Kathleen said, makes perfect sense, speaks to my Leo. Okay. Good. I'm glad this is helping you because I need to know that. Scorpio rising. We're going to do water next Monday. Water, sun, rising, and moon. Okay. And air signs are coming up too. So this week, today is 9/9/19. And we're talking about, if you're just joining us, I'm going to recap and then you can listen to the replay on my Facebook page or when you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you for doing that because as we grow, we're going to share this information so others can benefit as well. This is all about spiritual awareness. This is all about being the you that you came here to be. And with Jupiter in Sagittarius now squaring Neptune in Pisces, both are mutable. Mutable energy is gotta go, gotta do, changeable. Squirrel, but also able to, jump over hurdles as they come up. So this energy is encouraging you, along with the Virgo lineup, encouraging you to get specific about who you want to be and what's stopping you. Okay, so 4-part series. Today was fire signs. On Thursday, I'll be talking about earth signs. That is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So please join me again on Thursday. And then on Saturday, I'll be talking about air signs, which is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And then next Monday, I'll be finishing up with all the water signs, and that's Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So whether you are a Cancer, Sun rising, or a Sun rising in any of these signs that I'm talking about, this will affect you and apply to you. And remember, folks, the planets don't make you do anything, right? If you know me, you know the chant. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos, right? So when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. Ding dong. Oh, what time is it now? Time to move on. Thank you for being here. Thank you for be sparkly, be present. And I hope this has helped you. And I'll see you again on Thursday.